the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
High from that.
Yeah. Quickly here as we wrap up. Vols Hoops, Bishop Boswell, year one expectations, Ryan Schumpert. What's exciting about him? Biggest concern you have coming into this year for Boswell, and why should Tennessee fans be excited about the four-star true freshman?
Yeah, I mean, for what, not that I didn't see him the day he walked on campus, but obviously he hasn't spent too much time at Tennessee, and he's built incredibly, incredibly well. A very physical guy. I think, the role thing, to what to expect, not a ton. I think there's a weird middle ground here where obviously it's the same thing Freddie DeLeon never could really grab the minutes last year. It was 5 minutes a game when Zakai Ziegler, 5 to 10 minutes a game when Zakai Ziegler is sitting in conference play. And it doesn't have to be all 10 minutes in a game, but can he steal some minutes there? What's the right word? Not pessimistic, cautious, I guess, that he's truly developed enough as a point guard at this point to be able to come in and run Tennessee's offense in that way. Don't think it's impossible. Think he'll get 100% get opportunities there, especially early in the season when they play their 7 bye games. He's going to have chances. I think where he's really built to play week one or built to play season one as a freshman is the Jemai Meshack, Devontae Gaines role of their freshman years when they weren't super developed offensively. And I think he's more developed offensively than those guys, but he's just a tough defender that can come in and try to give you a spark that way. And a guy that you can put in the game because off the ball, who you can maybe hide a little bit on the offensive end, but he's going to play really well on defense and can make some energy plays to spark some things. I wonder how much Tennessee needs that. Like how much room is there going to be for that role on this team? Would be my question. But I think that's what I would feel good about him doing this year. And I do think, I like Tennessee's starting lineup a lot. I do have some questions about the depth when you get past like 7 deep or maybe 8 deep, I guess. So I think there's, a chance for him to grab some minutes in games in the regular season. When they roll into tournament time, I'm pretty skeptical that he's going to have a role where he's going to play every game.
But it feels like he has a better shot than DeLeon did last year. He feels like more of a Barnes type point guard. He feels more of like, once Zakai is gone, like, we should plan on him being the next guy there?
I haven't seen enough to say. I think I would plan on him having a sizable role in whatever that would be, 2025, 26, just with how much Tennessee loses this year. And I think you're going to see him bring in a really big prep class. I don't know if that's him as a starting point guard. I do think he shoots it better. I think he can coexist with Zakai better too. Because obviously that was something it was just Zakai and Freddie couldn't coexist last year. It just wasn't going to work.
This is kind of a sneaky. You just brought up something I hadn't really thought about. Like the step back is coming after this year. This is like the final. We're trying to win a title here for a couple of years, right? I wonder if Tennessee fans it was something I realized when the certain guys when you're seeing who are coming in. It's like, oh, they're going to add several prep guys in this cycle. There's going to be a little bit of not a complete rebuild, but I think it's like a 1 to 2 year window where they're just finally aging out of all their guys, and they're not going to go like super portal heavy to keep trying to like win a title or make the Final Four after this year. I feel like this kind of is the last one for a couple of years.
Yeah, no, I feel that way too.
Do you think the staff feels that way?
To a degree, yeah, for sure. Just looking at how they're recruiting. I mean, I think they're going to take, from what I've been led to understand, I think they're going to take 5 prep kids. They have 8 scholarships to work with for sure. You assume somebody probably transfers. So it's, I think they're going to get some prep guys that are big time recruits that they expect to play day one, and that they invest in, like you would invest in good players in the portal, that you maybe hope are 2 3 year guys. But yeah, I definitely think there's a reset, and I think everybody understands there's a reset. And then the other thing I'll add too on that front, and I think it was Kevin Sweeney at SI was the first person who I saw was on this, and it was a really, really good point. Last year was the last year of the COVID guys, and you don't really think about it with Tennessee because that was the class that I think was like Keon Johnson, Corey Walker, and Jaden Springer. So none of those guys were on the team since after their freshman year. In Tennessee, you probably think about it, last was to Josiah Santi. Well, Tennessee got three of their transfers were COVID seniors. And you look at the guys that they targeted in the transfer portal, it's a lot of COVID seniors. So there's going to be a lot less players available. And the type of player that Tennessee is targeted in the transfer portal, there's going to be a lot less available. So when you consider all those things, I think you're absolutely on the money. This is obviously things change a lot in college basketball, but I don't think in 2025, 2026, Tennessee's going to have a SEC championship competitive team. And you're probably banking on Cam Carr having a really good season.
But not too good, because you don't want to cut the draft. It's like, Campbell, we want you to be we want you to be good, but not too good that you're now a lottery player. There's a fine middle ground. It's like the Kavares Tears thing in baseball. We were like, oh god, Dreiling and Tears are too good. They're gone. Yeah. It's over.
No, I will say on that aspect, just the way the nature of it works with the draft. Like, it always felt to me like those guys were probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I think this is...
Well, I don't think Tennessee fans are ready for it, right? Because this will be the first drop-off in the Big Three. Because baseball is obviously humming year over year. And even like the down year 2 years ago, going into 2 years ago now, they were preseason number 2, right? They were still preseason number 2 that year. So it wasn't like there was an expectation that it was going to be a non-contention type year for Tennessee after the number 1 overall team and everything. But Barnes and company in the Danny White era they're right there at Bama and Auburn, top of the SEC every year during this little run. And football is obviously getting better and better each year. Like, this is the first time Tennessee fans, they've been kind of spoiled here with the Big Three. That 25-26 for men's hoops might it just not, they're not going to fall off and be like a bad team, but they're not going to be fighting for 1 or number 2 in the conference. They're going to be fighting for like 4 or 5. I would say somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely stupid to say something like this far ahead of time. It feels like a realistic best case scenario. You're talking about like a 4 or 5 seed in the NCAA tournament as opposed to...
that's probably best case, because it's because they're going to be mostly young, and we should say that. Like, it's going to be a really young team next year. Like, this is it. Like, I think this is there's going to be a lot of learning curves. I mean, also just replacing Zakai. Like, he's just gone. Like, that's Zakai and Jemai are both gone, and they're your leaders this year. So I don't know. It's just going to be...
I mean, what I would believe will be the starting rotation this year, Tennessee's going to lose 4 out of 5 starters, and what I believe is going to be their top 8 are going to lose.
Wait, who do you think's back of their 5 starters?
What's that?
Who do you think's back of the 5 starters?
Okpara.
Oh, you think he's back? Okay, so Okpara can be back for 1 more year.
Yeah. Yes, but Okpara's not a guy that I see like having taken next step, carry you offensively ceiling. So.
Not unless he transfers to UNC Asheville. Final thing here, Ryan Schumpert. Tennessee baseball season review. Kavares Tears. Did he?
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.